Hello, my name is Hosea Rosenberg. I am a chef here in Boulder, Colorado. I have 2 restaurants, Black Belly and Santo. I am working with the U.S. Highbush Blueberry Council, and we're making a blueberry mole today. At my restaurant, Santo, we do a lot of Southwestern flavors, and one of our signature dishes is a roasted chicken with mole sauce. So I thought it'd be really fun to introduce the blueberries into the mole. Mole is a regional sauce. It's as many grandmothers as there are in Mexico. That's how many different sauces you can find under the mole banner. But traditionally, there's chilies, there's fruit, there's seeds, there's nuts, and oftentimes you will find chocolate, but not always. But in my mind, all of these things work really well with blueberries. So before I start making the recipe, I'm gonna kind of point out some of the ingredients. We, of course, have our blueberries, the most important thing. We also have dried blueberries. So fresh and dried. You can substitute canned or frozen for the fresh if you can't find fresh. We have Mexican chocolate. We have toasted sesame seeds. We have almonds, garlic, little sugar. I've got my spices here that are ground up. There's cinnamon, clove, and anise. And then I've got 3 different types of chilies over here. So these are the New Mexico red chilies. These are all dried chilies, and I took the pods and ripped the stems off and shook out the seeds. You don't want the seeds. They make it a little too hot. And then the stems, obviously, you're just gonna have to strain them out later, so you might as well get rid of them now. These are ancho chilies. Again, a dried chili. These lend a little bit of sweetness and smokiness. And then these are pasilla, which are very mild, but they have a really robust kind of earthy flavor. So the 3 chilies give you a nice kind of rounded flavor. And then we're gonna start. So this is, I'm actually using vegetable shortening right now, but my recipe normally calls for lard. We're gonna be doing some deep frying in here, and we're gonna use this, all of it will remain in the recipe as sort of an emulsifier. So I'm gonna get this up to about 350 degrees. And one of the reasons I love it cooking with induction is it gets hot very fast. I've got all these dried chilies. Now I'm gonna fry them. So you can see them sizzling. They get a little smoky and toasty. And basically after like 10 to 20 seconds, you pull them out. Next are my ancho chilies, same thing. Just toast them very lightly. Okay, so we have these toasted chilies. And what we're gonna do now is cover them in super hot water and let them soak until they're soft. So just enough to cover them. I'm gonna put a lid on here. We're gonna let those kind of just soak away. We're gonna start toasting our ingredients. So one at a time. Throw that garlic in there. Next are the almonds, fried nuts. So next, we're gonna fry those dried blueberries. Same thing, they start to sizzle. Now, a traditional mole that I like to make usually uses raisins. And this is what made me think of the blueberries. Like the dried blueberries have the same texture and concentrated sugars as raisins. And God, they smell so good when they're frying like this. And I've got these tomatillos where they're kind of like blistered and breaking apart and their juices are coming out just a little bit. Same with the blueberries. If you go too long, there's just nothing left. You're trying to basically wait till they explode. So I've got my oven roasted blueberries, my oven roasted tomatillos, my fried blueberries, fried garlic, fried almonds. I've also got my spices, my sugar, my sesame seeds, and my chocolate. And what I'm gonna do next is blend these soaked chilies. We're gonna make like a nice chili puree. So you want a really smooth puree. It's nice and thick. It's got the consistency of like peanut butter. And here is the craziest, funnest part about this whole recipe. We're going to get this oil nice and hot, and we're gonna slowly whisk in this chili puree. And what you're doing is you're emulsifying the chili puree and the oil together, but also cooking it out in the oil. I'm gonna get all this stuff out of here and cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes over low heat, stirring often. But when you're not stirring, put a lid on it. And what you're doing is you're basically refrying this chili, but in a puree form. While this is simmering away, we're going to blend some other ingredients. We're gonna add our roasted tomatillos to the blender, my roasted blueberries. You wanna scrape all that stuff off, get all those juices. all that concentrated blueberry flavor. Then we're gonna add our fried garlic, fried blueberries, my spices, almonds, sesame seeds, chocolate. It probably needs a little bit of water. You really wanna blend it well. There's all those seeds and nuts and you have to break them apart. So don't be afraid to go for a while or until your blender motor burns out, either one. And now that this has been cooking and simmering for a while, we're gonna whisk in all these other ingredients. This goes for about 20 minutes. Then we're gonna add 3 quarts of stock. This is the finished product. I seasoned it with a little bit of sugar and salt and strained it through a chinois. So you can see the nice shine. The color's gotten darker. Doesn't really look like blueberry, but you can smell it and you can definitely taste it. This sauce is very versatile. It can be used as a finishing sauce. You can simmer meat in it. You can use it as a marinade or you can use it as a base for other ingredients. So I'm gonna show you a couple different uses for it. The first one is one of our favorite things to eat in New Mexico, and it's called adobada. It's a braised pork shoulder. So what I did was mix the pork with 50-50 mole sauce and chicken stock. And so you can see it's nice and tender. I cube it up, I brown it, I throw it in a pan, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then the mole and the chicken. So you would serve this with some tortillas and maybe a little chopped jalapeno on the side if you like it spicier. This is a great taco filling, enchilada, or just a bowl on a cold winter night. I've got these butter basted cauliflower steaks. And we can just finish with a little mole. Next, we've got some chicken breasts. I marinated these overnight in 3 to 1, 3 mole to 1 olive oil. Let that marinate, threw a little bit of salt and pepper on it, just grilled it. In this case, maybe I'll sauce it underneath. We'll get extra fancy with it. We just garnished with a little bit of roasted sesame seeds. So that's our chicken and mole with sesame. I've got, this is grilled skirt steak. This was marinated in same kind of thing as the chicken. It was oil and mole. Sat overnight, hot grill, charbroiled it. This can be done also as a taco or as an entree. Nice medium rare skirt, juicy with all that mole marinade. And then just a little mole sauce. Kind of drag your steak through. Thank you so much for joining me. This was so much fun. It was a challenge, but it was a fun challenge. I loved working with the blueberries and trying to explore a unique, creative way to incorporate them into something that you wouldn't think of with fresh berries. So thank you to the U.S. Highbush Blueberry Council. Thank you to SRG. And thank you for trying this out.